Hello, everyone, and welcome to our today's podcast. And today's episode is especially for MBA students and fresh graduates who are trying to understand what the industry really expects beyond the classroom. In today's world, where work is changing very fast, roles are evolving, skills are being redefined, and career paths are no longer linear. To help us make a sense of all this, we have someone with deep industry experience and on ground insights. Today, we have with us Mr. Pankaj Tiwari, who brings close to 3 decades of leadership experience in India's consumer healthcare and pharmaceutical industry. Currently serving as a regional expert in as a sales manager in Helion, he has played a pivotal role in driving expert-led and ethical business growth across multiple regions. Over the years, he has held senior leadership roles with JSK Consumer Healthcare, Cipla Healthcare, Novartis, and Ranbaxy Group of companies, where he has built businesses from the ground up, led large multi-functional teams, and managed portfolios of over rupees 80 crore with sustained double-digit growth. His experience spans nutrition, oral care, pain management, respiratory health, and OTC products. Known for his strengths in sales strategy, regional expansion, team coaching, and customer centric execution, Mr. Tiwari has worked closely with doctors, hospitals, nutritionists, key opinion leaders, and retail partners to build a strong brand and long term relationships. Sir, it's a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure is mine. Yeah.
So, sir, to start with, what are the biggest changes that you have seen in the industry over 3 to 5 years that the fresher often underestimate?
So I would take a little longer view because I have started my career around 3 decades back, as said in the introduction. A lot of changes have happened, and the world is changing very fast, and world is rather evolving, right? I would say a lot of automation is happening, new technologies coming in, new interfaces are coming in, new ways of businesses are happening, and people have also become a lot more ambitious and a lot more, enterprising. So today's world is VUCA world, what they call as VUCA. VUCA stand for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So a lot of ambiguity is there in the business. Lot changes happen very fast as compared to what when I started. That time there was no automation and the pace of business growth and everything was very slow. Now overnight everything changes. For example, if you would have seen many organizations which were very very big like Nokia, like uh, Xerox, like Kodak and all these things. They are nowhere to see now, and new businesses are coming up, new ideas are coming up. So somebody who's very agile, who is very who's very very fast paced will be able to, sorry, incoming, survive in this VUCA environment, I would say.
That's great, sir. So, building on to that, how have expectations from entry-level employees changed compared to when you started your career?
As far as the expectation is concerned, first expectation is the person has to be very very dynamic. Not only the domain knowledge, they must have the understanding of all the aspects of business, right? So from what is the supply chain, what is how the sales and marketing happens, how the strategy works out, all that the person has to be very very dynamic. Then second thing is need to have very very good communication skills, because now the organizations are becoming matrixed. Lot many things are going on. A lot of people and a lot of coordination and collaboration is required when you want to move at a fast pace. So expectation is need to have good presentation skills, good communication skills, right? And a lot of professionalism is required. The new I am recruiting around for 50 to 100 people every year from the best of the colleges. So where they are lacking primarily is the professionalism and discipline, right? For any new joiner who comes in, need to have this basic discipline, what is called as corporate discipline, need to be there. Reaching meetings on time, doing things on time, delivering what is asked for without any, uh, delays and everything. That is very much required from new guys, right? Then when you are working, say somebody who's coming out of the college will have a team to own, right? Managing team is the biggest task. Managing people is the biggest task. I think not many colleges are teaching this, right? So managing humans is a very difficult thing. You require a lot of skills because everybody has different motivations, different, needs, which need to be addressed at the ground level. Otherwise, a lot of attrition happens. And nowadays, people have become very, very agile and they will change companies very fast without you realizing. Many people have gone in your team. So managing team dynamics, team, ownership is required from the new people, right? And last but not the least, I would say learning agility has to be there. As the world is changing very fast, so anybody who is joining new need to be very agile in terms of learning and development.
So, very well said, sir. So, today a lot of students talk about stability. So, do you really think the idea of job security is still relevant, or has skill security replaced it?
So I would say there is nothing called job security, right? Uh, All the jobs are evolving. Everything is evolves over a period of time. So it was never there before also, but since the pace was very slow, so now somebody who is come young and joining the work stream, need to be very very dynamic and skills are the basic of everything, right? If you don't have the skill, you need to acquire the skill. And second important aspect or some skill would be networking. Skill plus networking, both the things are required for the growth and development. And as I said before, all these things will come when you are learning. You have the learning agility, right? You are willing to go out of the way, learn new tasks, take up new challenges, new jobs, new responsibilities, and try to fulfill the responsibilities and job as per the requirement of the organization. So skill along with networking, right? These two things will definitely make people success in corporate world.
So, following up on that, how important is adaptability today compared to technical expertise, especially for a fresher entering the workforce?
So it's given nowadays. Technical adaptability or technical skills are required for any entry level job also, right? All the systems are automated, right? And all entire all the information comes in form of dashboards and everything. So technical understanding has to be there, right? Basic understanding of computers, how it works, and all these things. That those days are gone when you can take liberty with all these things, right? So it has to be 100% there, and you need to adapt to the changing technical environment also. What is relevant today may not be relevant to tomorrow, or what was relevant yesterday is not relevant today. Especially people who are in the technical field or those who are aspiring to go into the tech companies, right? So they need to be very, very agile in terms of learning new technologies, innovation. Like I gave you the example of Nokia and Kodak. They did not adopted the new technology, entire companies got vanished, right? And one point of time when I joined the industry, Kodak used to be a dream company for everyone, right? But they did not adopt to that new changing technology, and now they are nowhere to be seen. So same ways, if you are not adopting to the new skills and technologies, I think all organizations take it as a granted.
Yes, sir. So, as you said, we can't ignore technology. What do roles like AI, automation, digital tools play in entry level roles like nowadays? Should student be worried about it or be excited about it?
See, every technology has two aspects, right? If you
Yes.
are master with the technology, they are your friends, right? And if you
Right.
if you don't try to learn or change with them, they become your enemy, right? So these tools are basically to there to help you out, right? To to make your learning very fast, right? To make the thing move fast. As I said, agility is more important than perfection. In some jobs, like you have technical job where the perfection is required, but 90% of the jobs agility is required because competition is very stiff, market is changing very fast every day. Like for example, there is a concept of called mini Indias, right? Earlier, one flavor was given and it was viable for all entire country. But if now if you see India has different states, different geographies. Every state has different liking for different flavors, different type of things. So any organization which is working on this need to embrace all these things. Otherwise, what will happen? You will become very obsolete. And technology is also a similar thing, right? If you are making friendship with the technology, it will help you. Otherwise, it will become your biggest uh, enemy, I would say. So
Absolutely,
no need
sir.
to no need to get scared of the technology, AI and everything. It is there to help you, and if it is used in a right way.
Absolutely. So, I think we should shift our focus a little bit from technology to MBA. So, as you all know that we are pursuing our MBA. So, from your perspective, what do most MBA students get wrong while preparing for their first job?
I would say because when they join the workforce, the expectation is from the day one they will be up and running,
Hmm.
right? So first thing need to happen, the hangover of the college need to go, right? Hangover of college need to
Absolutely.
go, and because every industry has different requirements in terms of their discipline, in terms of their professionalism, in terms of their, how you dress in the organization, what time you come, what time, because there is no standard, thing which everybody is following. So you have to change yourself as per the industry you are working in. Like for example, if you go to hotel industry and if you go to airline industry or you go to any industry, you are required to dress very formally, right? Whereas if you go to some industry which is very lenient, like IT and everything, you can dress as much as the way you want, right? Similarly, job need to be done, right? Hours are become flexible, right? So whenever the MBA is joining, so they need to be a little flexible in their approach. I would do this at this pace, at this time, and this way will not work, right? You have to deliver result. Everybody has to deliver results, and within the given set of time. And during that period, how do you manage this thing? Third is MBAs or anybody. If you are hiring people from the good business schools, you are hiring them for some problem solving skills, right? Not just for routine mundane job, right? So their skill in solving problem, using technical tools, everything will play will help you in the overall scheme of things, right? And what last but not the least, I would say is the ownership, right? Whenever you are doing any job, the ownership of the job, that is my job, my organization, my company, my team. This ownership has to be there, because where most of the people lack is as they are doing a job in the organization and they are forced to do the job. The ownership or kind of ownership required from the fresh MBAs need to be there. The kind of teamwork required. Some people are either very smart or extra smart, I would say, or some people are very introvert. They don't mix up with the teams, right? So right combination of your skills are required from the freshers who are coming out and joining the work stream.
Very rightly said. And as you mentioned previously that you do a lot of hirings nowadays. So what are the things according to you which makes like one fresher stand out amongst like hundreds of resumes which you go through maybe?
See, there are two things I would say. This thing first is their learning agility, right? I would say I try to assess that how flexible, how moldable this guy is, right? Everybody, because college or a MBA campus or any the books teach you the theoretical this thing. But if you are willing to take extra step, if you are ready to do this thing, like for example, most important thing, everybody wants the job at their home place, right? If suppose I am giving a job to you in Chennai, right? How open you are to take a job, how you open you are to challenge yourself, right? In different geography, in different channel, in different business environment and everything. So that is one of the important thing, and how quickly you adapt to the situation, right? So because you are just seeing the academic this thing, and good from the good colleges everybody has very good academic credentials. What differentiate people, how well you gel with the team, how well you gel with the people, how quickly you solve a problem, how your analytical skills are, problem skills are, and how much strategic thinking you have, right? And last, again, as I said, and last and the foremost is your learning agility. Always, I would say how willing you are to learn, to challenge yourself, to take new assignment, to take to new geographies. All these things come in when I'm making a decision to hire somebody.
So, how much do internships, live projects, and case competitions really matter as compared to the academic scores?
See, always academic scores are good to have, but these are practical experiences. That depends which organization you are joining in terms of where you are doing, how much you are learning. Basic, it's a learning journey, right? If you have learned anything or solved any problem or try to analyze anything, that way is always going to be a big plus. But at least in 2 months or 3 months time, you just get the flavor of the things which are coming up, right? So if you are good enough, lucky enough, and you're working in doing a project in some good company, so there you will get really meaningful project. Then you how you are approaching the project, how you are doing the things. Incoming voice call sorry from ZTE. How you are doing the completing the project, what kind of guides you get, mentors you get to do the project. This all matters. But for a student, you at least get the flavor of the things to come, right? And any experience or any this thing which is practical experience is always helpful. I don't know why how many of you have gone to the factories, right? So when you see factories yourself, you see how the products are made, what the quality control is, what do you mean by sustainable packaging, right? All these things is currently bookish knowledge. When you think what cost is involved, how difficult it is to provide the sustainable, packaging, the biodegradable packaging, all these things, when you see yourself, when you get involved, start getting involved in this, right? Then
Right.
you realize the importance, and then you realize the what at what cost you are getting all these things.
Absolutely, so. So, from all the skills you mentioned, which one skill or some skills that you expect an MBA student have with them from day one?
See, during the discussion, I've already told you so many things. First thing is biggest skill is your adaptability, right? Whichever organization you join, first few days you need to adapt to the culture of the organization, to the environment of the organization, to the work routine of the this thing, to understand the expectations of the organization. And first thing is your adaptability. Second thing you require there is your technical skills, what technical, tools and this thing you have got, and how to use them, where to use, when to use, and what kind of data is there. Third important point is data. Data is God, as they say, right? Because data-based decision making, everybody has a gut feeling, gut hunch, but data-based decision making, fact-based decision making is one of the thing which you expect from a MBA student as compared to when you are doing the hiring from the other backgrounds, right? Lot of analytical skills are required, as I said, because when you do data, then Excel sheets are not just enough. What the data is throwing at you, it is very important, and how to use in day-to-day decision making. That is very important. Then your problem solving skills, right? You are hired, or anybody is hired for to solve any problem or to make the business grow or progress in the business need to be made. So what kind of problem solving skills you have, right? That is very important. And then your communication skills, managing the stakeholders, right? Because when you work in an environment as on complex organization, you will have multiple stakeholders. It's not just your boss and your team. There will be many people who will be involved. How you managing, and there will be some seniors, some juniors, some your colleagues at your age. So how do you manage all the stakeholders? How you get the job done? That is very important, right? And last but not the least, as I said, your discipline, right? You're going in and day and day doing the same job, same duty for next 20, 24 months, 48 months, right? Will define your success.
So, sir, at the entry level, do you value specialization more or a strong general management mindset, and why?
It depends on the nature of the job, right? If you are coming into, say, finance, so obviously you will require somebody who has done finance, who has a you know history of finance, right? Who has done something some from the very beginning, he or she is in the financial systems, right? So, but if you are saying marketing, sales, marketing, or HR, the specialization is not very much required because a lot of companies are hiring management trainees and then training them as per their needs,
Hmm.
right? But like specialized subject like finance, but you need to have the pedigree of finance. Your education need to be in finance to understand that better, right? Similarly, if you are going say in an organization which is highly technical or making very technical things, right? So there your domain expertise also plays very important role. Other than that, most of the organizations are generally hiring journalists, and then as per their requirement of the business, they are molding themselves, training themselves, coaching them to become expert and in this thing. And one more thing is nowadays the growth opportunities, as somebody said in the beginning itself, is there is no linear growth. There is always a
Hmm.
zigzag growth, and you need to be, and a
Hmm.
management graduate need to be expert in at least five, six subjects so that he can take a senior leadership role in the future. He or she can take future senior leadership role. So for that, you need to work in shop floor also, right? You need to work in sales, you need to work in marketing, you need to work in customer marketing, you need to work in different channels, channel marketing, right? Channel sales, right? So lot many things are there. HR experience if it is possible, right? And I don't know how many organization will get finance experience, but little bit understanding of the books, uh, you know, so that financial books reading and everything, so that when you the complete package is developed in next 10 years, right? So I would say for most of the role, I would prefer a journalist, but training as per their. That's why this learning agility is required from the somebody who is joining in.
So, what do you think? Like, what is the one common mistake like freshers should avoid in the first year of work?
I do not see. I would say not mistake, but many people take it very casually. The intent is not there, right? The intent, you need to demonstrate the intent also. Yeah, you are out of cover, you are young, vibrant, and everything is fine, but you need to have this intent, what job you are doing. There should not be a casualness in your attitude. There's a difference between casualness and being extrovert and some mixing up with the team and everything. So this casualness should be avoided. It should not seem you are taking it very casually, very lightly, right? And you are not, focused on the deadlines. You are not focused on the quality of work you are delivering, right? Just a sheet is given and just you are just sending it back. You're not opening your mails, right?
Hmm.
You don't know what is happening inside the organization. If any important communication is coming, you are not able to see that. So that is what I would say that that is the biggest mistake, or what most of the newcomers do, right? So that should be
Right.
avoided.
And like to sum this all, the entire discussion up, what is like one piece of advice as somebody who's been in the industry for the past 3 decades? So, what is a one piece of advice you would share to MBA students who'd be listening to this podcast?
So I would say there are a lot of opportunities available, right? You follow your passion, what exactly you want to do. You just make up your mind in next 2 or maybe 1 or 2 years. Where do you want to go? What is the path to the what path will lead to that direction, right? And work really hard to achieve that. Opportunities are immense. There is no job security per se, but I would say if you are learning, if you are making the right decision, if you are going, you're following your passion, if you are following your, what you really want, right? Then I think the opportunities are, unlimited for anybody. You don't need to be scared of your, job security and everything. You will grow and you can become a future leader of any scale in any industry.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing such honest and practical insights. This conversation truly brings the gap between the classroom learning and the real world expectations. To our listeners, this episode help you reflect on your career preparation. Do share it with your peers and stay tuned for more industry conversations like this. Until next time, this is Prerna along with Gena, Niharika, and Kritika signing off. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, and all the best to all of you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.